Hello there, welcome to another episode of So You Want to Be a Seafarer. This is a book by Joshua Oyetunde, and in the previous episodes, we talked about very interesting conversations on the book. We started with trying to look at what you need to come into the ship. We talked about the benefits, we talked about the risk, we talked about documentation. We also talked about the route to get into the ship. Not to also forget that we looked at the levels of responsibilities. And today we're going to continue, like I did mention, if you've been following, that we'll look at career paths ashore. We also look at the choice of license. We also look at career advices. And of course, we will delve into other areas in the book, But just for emphasis, Joshua Oyetunde has two books. I did mention most of them. I mean, the other one repeatedly in the last edition, which was Unveiling the Mysteries of the Sea. That particular book has a lot of spiritual connotation, and I think you can check it out because it's already out. But this particular book we're analyzing right now is already available as at the time you are watching this. So you want to be a seafarer, right? Like me, I said I'm actually changing my mind to probably become one of those. So welcome to the show. I've got the man himself who is the author of this book, a seasoned seafarer, seaman, a maritime engineer, a lover of God, and the founder of the Nigerian Fellowship of Christian Seafarers, NFCS. I got that correct, I'm sure. Anyways, the next time you see me, you will call me a seaman. Welcome, Joshua.
Thank you so much.
So good to have you.
Same here, thank you.
It was a very interesting conversation in the previous edition or episode where you delve into some of the things that you've written in the book. And the essence of the conversation basically was to bring the content of the book in a very simplified format, which is why we are here.
Yeah.
And we talked about your coming into the sea, how you came, if it was a childhood dream, how the experiences has been for you, the benefits, and all of that. So the last time we talked about levels of responsibilities, which was where we stopped in the last episode. But this time we want to delve into career paths ashore. So maybe you should let us know, what are the career paths? When you even say ashore, let's first of all understand the word ashore. Because for someone who is not in the maritime industry, you're like, okay, what does it mean by ashore?
Okay.
So let us understand ashore, and then we can now talk about the career path.
All right. So what we mean when we say career path ashore simply means jobs that you can do on the land.
Okay.
All right. Nobody is going to stay on the sea forever.
Right.
So it's either when you are done sailing, you retire, and you come home, you stay at home, or you resume to work in the office ashore.
Okay.
And so when we say career path ashore, it simply means the other career paths, apart from sailing, other career paths that is available for you, other career choices and options that are available for you as a seaman.
Okay.
And so when we talk about career path ashore, it's one thing we must understand being a seafarer is that coming into the maritime industry, especially for you as a seafarer, it's like this. There is a convergence, and then once you get in,
it opens up
to different, many opportunities.
Oh.
All right. So there's so much opportunities that are abound if you just manage to get in. There's so much. So, for example, now, if you find yourself as you get in, maybe after you have your license, and it doesn't even matter, like we talked about the other time, we had, if you either you are starting from the scratch,
yes, the different routes that you are coming in.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Once you become like a fourth engineer or fourth engineer or third officer, as the case may be, or you become second officer, you can go ashore, you can become marine superintendent.
Wow.
Marine supervisor.
Okay.
You can get to work in terminals, and then you can still come back to ship. You can go ashore come back, go ashore,
Okay.
come back. So those opportunities exist. All
Very
right.
endless
So very
opportunity.
endless opportunity. You can go ashore there, come back, become if you're on the deck side, for example, you can become a chief officer. From chief officer, you can go back ashore, become assistant operations superintendent. If you're an engineer, you can become engineering superintendent. Then you can come back to ship, become chief engineer or become captain, and then you can go back ashore and become superintendent, operations superintendent. You
Awesome.
can become deputy, you can designated person ashore. There's so much you can become. You can just keep rising. All right. There's so much options that are available ashore. You can work in the yard if you're an engineer. You can work in the yard if you're. There are options in the dry docks, shipyards.
Okay.
You can work there. You can become some form of manager there. You can become. You can even. You can even study more and become a maritime lawyer if you want to.
Wow.
So much, plenty
Wow.
options. We can study. I mean, being at sea gives you the opportunity to do other programs, and then you can become literally anything you want to become. You can become an inspector. You can become cargo surveyor. You can become. The options are many. You can. Yesterday, we talked about different branches. We talk about the charterer. We talk about the owner. We
Yes,
talk
we
about
yeah.
the managers,
The managers and the
money
money
department. And we talk about the buyer.
The buyer,
You can
yes.
literally work in all these because
and
they
each
need
of
to-
these are very broad.
they are very, very broad. So you can find yourself working in any of those areas. So there are unlimited options for you. You understand? So those options are very, very plenty. So you don't necessarily have to end your life completely. Okay, I sail and it finishes at sea.
Okay.
So there are options.
So for someone who is interested in the maritime industry,
Yeah.
you actually can move from one particular unit
Yeah.
into another.
Yes.
You can transition.
Yes.
Maybe from being a seaman to
Yeah.
being at the ashore,
Ashore, yes.
as maybe doing something different. But
Yeah.
of course, all the knowledge is centered around the industry.
And the beauty of that is that it gives you a richer CV. You understand? So once you are done at sea, you come ashore, you acquire, and it broadens your perspective.
Right.
For example, if you have always been at sea for everything at sea, so the only thing you know is just basically at sea. But there are other things happening behind the scene.
Yes.
So, for example, you are on the ship, but you don't really know how the charterer come to that conclusion.
Yes.
Oh, we want it to go like this. Sometimes it seems as if they are making some irrational demands on you. We want your ship to be in this place at so time. You understand? So
Yeah.
you, on the other hand, being a seafarer, you be like, we're on the receiving end, anything they say we do. But you really don't know how they came to that conclusion.
Right.
Okay? So if you work with the owner, you understand things from the perspective of the owner. If you work with the manager, you understand things from the perspective of the manager. And by the time you put that in your CV, it makes for a richer CV.
Absolutely.
You understand?
Absolutely.
So that's a benefit.
And the things that ordinarily would have made you feel pissed off will now become a norm because
Yeah.
you already have the experience across board.
Yes.
When someone is telling you we need the ship as so and so, please, you don't feel worried anymore because you already have the experience.
Yeah.
And it helps you to be a better manager at the end of the day. So-
And I just need to point out this, especially on this shore thing. This particular is a burden for me in the sense that a wake-up call for all our maritime institutions.
Right.
Maritime institution is in globally, not just even in Nigeria alone. They tend to focus more on producing seafarers. All right, and because they tend to focus on producing seafarer, the maritime industry is actually more than just seafarers. alone.
Yes.
All right. So what that would do is that you're going to provide seafarer quite all right with the intention of having people to man the ship. But what will happen is we should always remember that nobody will stay on the ship forever. Family matters happen, and somebody will say, instead of becoming the captain, I think I've had enough. Okay, and then he will decide to quit going to sea as second officer, and then I want to work ashore. And so before you know it, there will be scarcity on the ship, scarcity of officer on the ship. So and ashore too. Because we are not preparing people to man those maritime positions ashore, so what happens eventually is that we'll have people who doesn't have the knowledge of the sea, doesn't have an understanding of what happened within at sea, manning strategic position ashore. And so when they make certain decisions, sometimes you be like,
It
how?
creates a chaos at the end of the day.
Exactly. So you have people who don't have any understanding about what happens in the maritime industry, becoming the one that rules and make decisions. And so the maritime institutions or training institution as a whole should focus more on producing people to man the maritime industry, not just people to man the ships.
Wow. So are there courses like this kind of courses that for people who perhaps want to work ashore? Are there specific courses for that? For example, if I want to choose a career path and I do not intend to be in the sea, but I want to work ashore,
Yes.
are there courses that anyone can take?
Okay.
And then come into the industry?
In the last episode, we didn't get to talk about, because we are focusing on this book because the book is actually to show people the life, how to live the life of a seafarer, because it's a life. However, there are some people that are going to man the maritime industry that are not necessarily going to be at sea, but they need to have an understanding of what happens. So, like the school that I went to, there are other courses too.
Okay.
All right. We have what we call maritime transport and business studies.
Okay.
All right. So those ones can be
Those
within
working
not
around
necessarily
the
going, not necessarily going to sail on board. You know, we have, in fact, of recent, when we had to interact with some maritime cadets, I learned that they are having ship management studies.
Wow.
All right. So with that, so it looks like we are getting there. The future is bright. If we only do more of that, we have people that are trained in that area actually manning the affairs of things in the industry.
Awesome. Anyways, if you just tuned in or you are just catching up with this, well, talking about So You Want to Be a Seafarer. It's a book by Joshua Oyetunde, who is the author, and he's here. So we're analyzing, and today we're looking at career paths, ashore. And of course, he just explained that ashore means that you're working not in the ship, but, on the land, within the industry. So let's talk about, you've always mentioned license. When you were talking about documentation, you mentioned you need to get this, you need to get that, you need to be certified here. Let's talk about it. What are the choices of license that someone who wants to be a seafarer should work on getting, from the basic to the highest?
All right, so let me start from these. The last episode, we talked about the fact that if you're entering the sea job, you need to satisfy certain conditions, which is you must have at least 30 months of training, all right, which includes both practical and theoretical aspect, all right. At the end of that training, you are going to have an exam, okay? Depending on which administration is conducting your exam. When I mean administration, which country you subscribe to.
Yes.
Okay, so you might have a written exam. In some cases you have written exam. In some cases you have both written and oral exams. All right, and now if you pass both, then you'll be issued a license. That license is what makes you to become what we call OOW, Officer of the Watch, or EOW, Engineer Officer of the Watch. All right, that's your first license, all right, which you must have, or which you will have for you to sail. If you don't have it, you are not going anywhere. That's in addition to all the mandatories that we talked about the other time. So you must have that license. That's just the beginning for you, entry level. Okay. Now, I'm saying the choice of license matter in the maritime industry. All right. The reason for that is because in the maritime industry, there are what we call maritime heavyweights. All right, you can call them maybe A nations when it comes to maritime industry. Yeah. There are B nations, there are C nations, or nation 1, nation 2, nation 3.
Right.
So if you, for example, if you have license from nation 3, those nations in category 3 will not be able to sail in nation with category 2 or in nation with category 1.
Yeah.
All right, and meanwhile, if you have from nations with category 1,
you can sail through anywhere.
Now, so you may want to think about that before you get your license. So now, this is my rationale. This is the way I think about it. Deck officer's job is the same everywhere in the world. Marine engineer's job is the same everywhere in the world. So why should you now? The thing about the license now is the license go as far as determine what you earn.
Wow.
All right, so if you carry the license from a nation, maybe
with
C
category
nation,
3.
Category 3.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, they pay you peanuts. All right, so you don't expect them to pay you like they'll pay you there. That's why they're category 3 in the first instance.
Right.
But the job is the same. So
Right.
my challenge is, why will you be doing the same thing that every other person do and still be earning less? Okay, so now, of course, the certificate might be cheaper in category C or category 3. It might be cheaper to get, but I still don't think you should settle for that. You should try to work your way up. All right? So eventually work your way up to you get that main license.
Yeah.
Because you are doing the same thing, you'll be shortchanging yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, so try to get the A nation, a country like UK, a country like China. These are heavyweights. All right, you cannot you cannot carry the Nigerians to the COC, so to say, and then say you
cut it. Go ahead, I will see you.
So you cannot
Right.
take from Nigeria and say you want to go and sail on a UK ship.
Absolutely.
No. Do you understand? So we need to get to that point. Of course, with time, if Nigeria get to that point, I believe that Nigeria will get to that point where we become respected in the maritime industry, and certificates will make all the sense.
Hot.
So when we get there, yes, you understand. But otherwise, so if you are making the choice of your license, you know this, that the license will determine how far you can go. As a matter of fact, you may not even be able to, if you have certain certificates, you may not be able to sail beyond your country. All right. Whereas so your certification comes with, it can limit you. That's what we're trying to say. Limit what you earn. And you will still be doing the same thing. So why
like every
not?
other person.
Yeah, so
you're putting the same effort, but you are earning less.
So the choice of license is very, very key for any seafarer.
So if you want to advise an intending seafarer now, like you've just said, that it's better to get your license either from the A nation.
Yeah.
Right. So if someone is not able to get that particular license, do you advise them to at least start from maybe the C nation, and then find their way to get into the top?
Absolutely. Many people have done that. That's so I could understand the rationale. I could understand the reason why anybody would do that.
Right.
Maybe apparently if is a nation, so to say, or category 1, they are going to be expensive.
Right.
So for shortage of funds, you can start with that C
and
nation,
then
try to upgrade. There will be some form of endorsement, some form of exemption. There's some form of exams you can sit for. Even at that, you might still get this COC and still go on board. At least earn good money that will enable you to be able to, even if you have to start all over again, to get the A nation, as the case may be. You understand? So you can work your way up.
So does past experiences count for you, just in case you want to upgrade, your license to?
It will. So it's just a case of reaching out to the administration that you want. Okay, I would like to have this license. Then they will tell you, okay, with this certificate that you're having, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do this. You understand? So it's
awesome.
possible.
So you heard that the choices of license really matters for you if you want to earn well and you want to, sailing across different countries and all of that. Get the right license. This is coming to you from someone who has experienced it firsthand, and this information is as real as your name, if you get what I mean. So let's talk about career choices, career advice for people. The title of the book is still saying, so you want to be a seafarer.
Yeah.
Let's look at career choices in this very particular chapter. What are the career choices or advices, to say, that you're giving to people who are coming into the sea?
One thing that I didn't mention it before. One of the things, I was working in a parastatal before I went to Oro, and so I told one of the directors in the office that I'm going to a maritime school. I'm leaving. I was working in a news agency news organization. So, and the director was like, "Why do you want to go and waste your life at sea?" That was what he told me. Now, I cannot having sailed for many. This man was actually old enough to be my father.
Right.
So, and having sailed for almost 2 decades now, I can tell you that one way to waste your life at sea is not to have a vision. All right.
One way to waste your life at sea is not to have a vision.
Yes.
That's a nugget.
Yes.
It might not be in the book, so save that. Go ahead.
All right. So if you don't have a vision of what some of us have gone through this journey. We didn't know what to expect. We just entered. You understand? But we don't want you to have that same experience. That's why we are doing all this. You understand? Have a vision. What do you want to achieve? Some people are basically driven by ambition. So I want to become a captain. I want to become a chief engineer. That's a vision in itself. You know, I want to be vast in the industry. Whatever it is your vision, you must have a clear vision of what you want to be. Okay, and of course you set goals. You break it down into goals, what you want to be. So it's important that you have a vision. Some people might say, oh, I just want to go to see. My motivation for coming to see is money. So I want to have money to do this. Maybe I want to have money to build. My passion is actually real estate. All right. So I just want to go to see so that I can get money to go into real estate big time. If that's your vision, that's fine. So you will now know choices to make along with that vision. For example, if your motivation for coming to see is money to start with, then you may not really bother about rank or promotion if the rank that you are is actually paying more. For example, you'll be in some company, an higher rank may not even be earning up to a lower rank in another company. So that division that you have will now direct which way what you go for. Right. For example, somebody that his choice is to become a captain, even if they are paying less in the company, as long as there is speedy promotion in that company, you might choose to stay there. Say, very soon, don't worry, very soon I'll become a captain. Very soon I'll become a captain. But the other person who is not really not keen about becoming a captain, he sees where he's going to be earning more, even though it's just maybe promotion is not fast there.
Yeah.
I'm earning more here, man. This is fine for me. You might just go for it. So vision is important. Where are you going? It's streamline your decisions and what you do, what you will not do. So vision is very, very important if you're going to do that. And another thing is invest in yourself.
Right.
Invest in yourself. Like we said, we just talked about the license that you're going to have. You're going to need more. Responsibility is not stagnant.
Yeah.
All right.
You don't get one and you sit back.
Yeah. So as you desire to go up, because your learning determines your earning. All right. So as you learn more, you earn more. All right. So as you invest in yourself, there are higher licenses that you need to get to higher ranks.
Which of course will lead to higher earning.
Higher earning. So there are people who they couldn't get the money to do their higher ticket, and so they've stayed where they are. So they couldn't promote them, because the promotion there is not just, oh, I've stayed in this rank, okay, then we promote you. You must have the necessary certificate. And of course, there are people that couldn't even pass the exam to the next level, and so they've stayed in the same rank.
But right? Can you rewrite the exam?
Of course, you can rewrite the exam, okay, but that's still not a guarantee. So you can still fail and fail again. You understand? So I know people that have written the exam again and again and again. Some people were discouraged because each exam costs money. All right, so people I'm done with this. I'm all right with this. I'm not wasting any money again.
Let me just stay here.
All right, so invest in yourself. All invest right. Academically, read. All right, and then of course you need to now invest in yourself in the sense that, because you are the one that is going to be doing the job, you need to invest in yourself. You need to save up money, for your tickets, for your mandatories. And this, don't forget, I mentioned there in the last episode that you're going to be renewing licenses again and again every 5 years. The one you renew every 5 years. So, which means you need to be saving money.
Yes.
So that when the time comes,
you won't be
stranded. Because absolutely, the moment the time comes for you to renew your license and you don't have money, it simply means that you're out of job.
Right.
So you need to invest in yourself, save money for yourself, you understand, so that when the time comes and your ticket upgrade, that's your license upgrade, you need to do that. So invest in yourself, read and all that. And of course, save your time and save your money. All right? Save your time, save your money.
I think you should expatiate on that.
Yes. What I mean by saving time and saving money simply means, from what I've said earlier, you know that you need to save money for your mandatories. Yeah. You need to save money for your ticket. You all right? So, and save your time in the sense that you don't, for example, now, once that entry COC that you have, that entry certificate, that entry license that you have, for you to step up, you just need to have 18 months seat time, and then you are qualified to go for the next rank or for the next ticket upgrade, or as the case may be, 36, 16, 36, 18, depending. I don't want to go into the details of that so that's not to bore the
Yes.
people. But when you
Or
get
even
the
confuse people like us that are not in
yeah,
the sea.
when you get hold of the book, the
can
details
read.
are there. You
Awesome.
know, so what that simply means is that once you have the normal seat time that you need, require seat time, whether they are going to whether your company is promoting you or not, go for the next ticket upgrade.
Okay.
Because every other seat time you are accumulating after that time is a waste.
Wow.
It may not count for him. It may not count for much.
Wow. Now I see.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
So get the next ticket as soon as you have the seat time. So, and the reason why you should get that is without the ticket, you are not going to be promoted. And sometimes promotion doesn't present itself. It doesn't announce itself, rather.
It just comes.
It just comes.
Well, how prepared are you?
Exactly. So when you have this license, you might just one day your ship just need second engineer, for example, or your ship just need chief officer, for example, and you already have your license. You know, you are just waiting, and that opportunity come be presents itself, and you just seize it.
Awesome.
Meanwhile, if you don't have it, it can pass you by, even irrespective of the number of seat time that you have, because it doesn't count for anything. So that's why I say save your time
And save money.
save your money as well. So, and again, saving time, one of the things we must understand is, as you see some companies, they do all this delay strategy and all those things they do. You can enter some companies, sometimes they will say, oh, we have third engineer, fourth engineer, fifth engineer, sixth engineer, seventh engineer. Man, that's a waste of time. One thing we must understand is that as far as the STCW is concerned, there's nothing like fourth engineer, fifth engineer, sixth engineer, seventh engineer. What is there is junior engineer.
Wow.
All right.
Yeah.
So if you now work in a company where the company is not saying as you start from seventh engineer, sixth engineer, fifth engineer, man, you have
You just
to run.
want to waste your time.
Yeah. And the reason they are doing that is for administrative purposes.
Okay.
One, they don't want to let go of the seafarers because they know that seafarers are scarce out there. So they will create a system of, okay, let's just retain them as long as we are paying them something, all right? As long as we are paying them something, they will stay. But man, you don't have to stay in that system because there's a demand for you out there.
Wow.
You don't have to stay. So save your time. Anything that will delay you, you can leave a company and go to work in another company. There is scarcity of seafarers out there.
So you are not even going to waste time.
Don't waste it. As long as all your documentation is in place, you will always get somewhere to stay. All right.
Awesome.
So I think, and another thing I would like to say is the fact that you need to build character and competence.
Wow.
I think it is important to say that.
That's number 4.
Yeah, build character. The reason for that is on the ship. When you are done with your trip, somebody is going to recommend you. You need somebody to say this guy is good. And that usually is your chief engineer or your captain, as the case may be, is the representative of the manager. All right? Your company, your office, your office is not on board. So is this man, either your captain or your chief engineer, is the one that is looking at your performance, is the one that is looking at how you are behaving. So you need a combination of both. I always tell people that you need a combination of character and competency on the job to grow up on the job. All right? So now you don't have character. So you just have a penchant for making everybody miserable around you. It doesn't matter if you know the job and you are 100% competent. If you are bad in character, which chief engineer is going to recommend you? Because the chief engineer must say this guy is good at the end of his trip and give you appraisal. And that appraisal is what your office needs to say this guy is good enough. So if your character is bad, you might just discover that even though you are good on the job,
Yeah.
Nobody's going to promote you because they don't want any. I mean, for example, you are going to stay 9 months on the ship with somebody whose character is bad. You know,
That could be frustrating.
it is very, very frustrating. Yeah. So you might have an issue with that. And of course, if you have character and your competency is 0, you are a time bomb. You are a disaster waiting to happen. So you are good. You are a Mr. Nice guy. But when it comes to doing the job, you don't know how to do the job. You know, you do something and somebody else has to come and check what you have done again, just to be sure that we are safe. You know, so nobody wants to recommend you. And so these are the things that at the end of the day, people have problem.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Character and competence.
Yeah.
I think most times we downplay on these two very important things.
Yeah.
And it's a very big advice to anyone, not just in the maritime industry, but anywhere. If you have a good character with competence, you tend to grow faster.
Yes.
But if you have good character with bad competence, it's a bad mathematics, or you have the competence with bad character,
Yeah.
it doesn't work. So the double C is what we are going to leave you with on the career advice from the author himself.
Can I just add this?
Yeah,
to
sure.
it?
Yes.
It's important to have a mentor.
Okay.
That's one thing that we did not get before coming to see. All right, we really don't know. The truth of the matter is that it may appear as if there are no seafarer out there, but when you get into the job, you will meet a lot of them. So you need somebody to tell you there is nothing you are going to do that some people have not done before. Okay, so it is madness to try to discover what has been discovered before.
And a waste of time too.
Yeah. So you just be doing trial and error. So people have been through these things. So just ask them questions, and you are going to save yourself a lot of pain. All right.
Wow.
They say mentoring is a legal shortcut to success. It's legal.
Yeah.
All right. So
Yeah.
let me use Jesus as an example. The things that Jesus learned in 30 years, he taught his disciple in 3 years.
Yeah.
All right. So mentoring will deliver to you in 1 day something that somebody learned in 30 years.
Absolutely.
All right. So it's important to have somebody like that in your life if you are going to be a seafarer.
I'm pretty sure if you have to pay for a master class for this, it will cost you a whole lot of money because practically we are learning something that he had taken time to learn over the years. Like he said, it's a bit faster when you have a mentor who mentors you, who shows you the path to go. And it saves you from the errors that your mentors have made because you don't fall into the same trap anymore. Now, whilst you were talking, you did talk about saving money, doing this, applying for this, and all of that. You also talk about earnings here and there. If you want to earn more, you want to earn that. It's a very beautiful thing to hear. When you tell somebody, oh, you are going to earn, we all love to earn. We want to make a lot of money. But most importantly now, I want us to look at a very, very important conversation in this industry, which is financial matters. As much as it's good that you're earning here and there, I want us to talk about finances. And we'll start by looking at first financial intelligence acquisition. We'll look at financial vision, savings, investment, and budgeting. So, what is financial intelligence acquisition within the seafaring industry?
All right. So
Or the maritime industry?
this is actually very, very important. If you are a seafarer, every seafarer should know this. All right. Seafaring is one of those jobs, like we said in the last episode, is one of those lucrative jobs that you have out there. And as soon as you start working, you start earning money possibly more than your peers out there. You understand? At least you'll be living a very comfortable life. And so one of the mistakes that seafarers often made is to think that their career intelligence is the same thing as their financial intelligence. Career intelligence is not the same as financial intelligence. That you can earn this much does not mean that you should spend this much. All right? So career intelligence, yes, you are good. You've learned everything about the job. But you can be like this on your career and your financial intelligence is like this. All right? So the first thing, if you don't have financial intelligence and you begin to spend money up this level, what you are going to create for yourself is you're going to create financial burden for yourself. All right? You're going to cause financial overload for yourself and you're going to wreck yourself.
Wow.
All right? So what you should do is to acquire financial intelligence. All right? Financial intelligence is that backbone on which financial responsibility stands.
Wow.
So if you don't have financial intelligence and you begin to take up responsibility, what you will now have is financial burden. And trust me, I've seen seafarers actually cry. All right? All right? Because they earn a lot, and because of that, the people, they add this responsibility here and there from family and friends and all that, and it's really, really getting to them.
Wow.
You understand? And so what you must do is to have financial intelligence. And I keep saying this, that financial intelligence, you in order to get it, if you don't have it before, just delay every other spending.
Yes.
All right? Go and learn. If you may like, even right now, if you are not been to sea yet, prepare your mind. Start learning now. Pick books. Let's start from that. All right? Pick books. Read on finances. All right, that's a good place to start. Pick books, read on finances, and begin to solve financial problems little by little. All right, and that's how you build financial intelligence. I mean, it's important. It's important. Don't say because you start earning money and start spending like that. All right.
You are not a politician.
No. Don't say because you start earning big money and start spending big money.
Right.
I mentioned something in that book which is very, very important. It's called Parkinson's Law.
Okay.
Parkinson's Law says that expenses will always rise to meet income. All right? So what that means simply before you were walking with your bare leg and you were okay without a car.
Yeah.
The moment money gets into your hand, you just suddenly say, how could they walk out like this now? You understand? So why would I be walking like this?
When I have the money that can
when I have
provide
the money
me
like
car.
this, no. And the same thing, you now be like, before when you didn't have the money, you were like, why in God's name would somebody be using 2 cars? It's a waste of time. The same when you now have the money, you like, my wife has taken the other car to office now. So will I be working with bare leg? No, it's not possible. So Parkinson's Law basically makes you feel like those things that you can live without, now you now feel like you can't do without them. You know, and which in the real sense is not true. You can actually do without them.
You can actually do without them.
Exactly. So if you are not aware, what you will be doing is you'll be accumulating burden and accumulating responsibility, and before you know it, that money will not be enough. So the weakness of Parkinson's Law is that I didn't tell you how long it will take for your income to meet with for your expenses to meet with your income. So if you are smart, what you do is you delay it. You delay it by acquiring financial intelligence. If you have to go for seminar, please go for seminar. I've been to financial seminars.
Wow.
All right. So if you have to go for financial seminar, go for financial seminar. That you earn big doesn't mean you are qualified to spend big.
Wow. That you earn big does not qualify you to spend big.
Yeah.
If you have, in fact, this is a financial seminar. You have acquired the knowledge already. It's very important to have the intelligence to manage your finances. And sometimes we are tempted as humans to do because others are doing. That is not financial intelligence. Yeah. Your ability to control your expenses is also an intelligence. Yeah. Your ability to control how you spend is also the intelligence we're talking about. So let's talk about, now that you've talked about financial intelligence acquisition, where you should be able to attend master classes, read books, and let's talk about financial vision. What is financial vision as you define in the book?
All right. Financial vision simply means you have a trajectory of where you want your finances to go. You have a trajectory, you have an ambition, something you want to accomplish with your money. So this must be clearly stated before you venture into the CE career, because you are going to make money. All right. So, but you must have a clear path, clear ambition, clear stuff you want to do with the money. All right. It must be clear. Oh, I want to go into real estate. So you have that financial vision. You have the financial goal as well. All right. You now break your vision down into goals. You understand? You break it down into goals. You can say, oh, I want to go into real estate. For example, like I said, my first money that I made at sea, I was saying the other day, the first money that I made from sea, I actually use it to get a land. All right. So you must have a vision and then break it down into goals. So you can say, okay, every time I go, for example, if your vision is real estate, okay, I'm going to start with, maybe let's say, for example, you want to start building houses for rental purposes. If that's what you want to do, I'm just using that as an example. Yeah. Or if your vision is, oh, I want to go into education, as the case may be, okay, I'll build a school, I'll do all that stuff. There must be what you want to do. Yes, and then you now break it down into goals. So you know that you go for 4 months, or as the case may be 6 months. So at the end of each trip, this is what I'm going to do. Right. So you are breaking it down now. Okay. So in the next 3 years, I'm going to build a house. So each trip that you go, you come back, you have something you want to achieve. Right. You understand? Right. So it ensures that your money goes into the right place. Okay, so there is no room for, most of the time when you see people lavishing money, throwing money away, it's because they don't have.
There's no proper vision. No vision. Ground. Yes. No vision. They just get and spend.
For a man who has vision, money is not enough.
Absolutely.
You understand?
Absolutely.
Money is only surplus in the hand of a man who has no vision.
Word. Because as a matter of fact, there's nothing you want to put the money on.
Yeah.
It's just spend it.
Exactly.
But if you have a vision, that money has a target.
Exactly.
In fact, before the money comes,
You're very-
there's already where it's going to.
Exactly.
You already know, this money, if it comes, it's not my own again.
Exactly.
It's gone already.
Exactly.
Because there is a vision on ground.
Exactly.
Okay, so is there something else you want to add to this particular before?
It's just that's just summarize what you mean by financial vision.
Okay, so I think we are going to end this particular episode today on financial vision. When we come back in the next episode, we'll be looking at savings, budgeting, and all of that. So just make sure that you stay here. And don't forget, we're talking about So You Want to Be a Seafarer. It's a new book by Joshua Oyetunde, who is a seasoned seaman. He has not retired. I don't know if he's going to retire soon. But if he's decided to retire soon, we'll bring him ashore. So we'll start working from ashore. However, his experience within the maritime industry is so rich that we would like to tap into it, not just from this book, but from other things that he'll be doing in the nearest future. So good to be back. And like I always say, please subscribe to this channel at Joshua Oyetunde on YouTube. My name is Unachi Sunday, and I'm the host. I didn't introduce myself before, but I know you all already know who I am. Of course, I'll be the one hosting this. Who knows, in the nearest future, I'll probably be hosting shows that has to do with the seafarers and all of that. So thank you so much for joining us today. See you in the next episode. Don't forget, set your notification button until we come your way again. Thank you so much for being part of it. Thank you so much, sir.